Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the January and 1st of our 2026 Double Take webinar series. Thank you all so much for joining us today. I know this is one of the hardest ones of the year to make it for on account of the crunch time on 1099 season, but hopefully you have all found 1099 season to be easier this year than last year. But if not, I appreciate your taking the time. Actually, regardless, I appreciate your taking the time. All right, well, as is our custom, we're going to go ahead and give people a couple of minutes to pile on in here. And while we wait for them, would love if folks could drop into the chat and let us know where you're calling in from. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and dive on in. Once again, thank you all so much for joining us today. We have a great catch up with y'all. Great catch up here today. A lot of fun new features to talk about. In case this is your first ever Double Take webinar series, if you have a question, we are more than happy to answer them. We will answer them throughout the feature presentation and after as well. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and we'll dive on in. Okay, so first things first, we're going to get started in the most fun place in the entire application, and that is our settings page. So up here in the top right-hand corner, you admins and super admins will have access to your practice settings. And in there, in your manage users, a couple of new columns you might notice. First is right here, the last seen column will let you see the last time a user was active in double. This can be helpful for making sure you're driving adoption across the team. It can be helpful for making sure if your team is always using double, if people are online and working and productive. So good new feature just to be aware of if you want to make sure that you know when your team is active in double. Second is over here on the right, you may see this courses column. This courses column is connected to the long awaited Double Academy. And so if you hover over this here, you will see there are 3 courses. If you want to access the Double Academy, you can do it in one of 2 ways. First, your user settings will have a Double Academy option right here. And if you click open, that will take you to our website, which is double.thinkific.com. And that is the Double Academy. As you can see here, we have 3 initial courses that you can start with: Mastering the Month-End Close, CRM and Task Management, and Management Reports and Client Financials. We think these are great courses that if you take them or if you have your team take them, it will really help you improve your understanding of how things work in Double and how to leverage all of the tooling we have available to run your most efficient close yet. This is also great if you have new team members who are new to Double or new team members who are new to your team. It's a great way to just set them on some course material and help them get up and running, and then you can have them start working with a shared understanding of how the product that you're working in works. One important thing I want to let people know about is how this works. So what you want to make sure to do is, if you see this 0 of 3, this 0 of 3 is connected to your user profile right here and your Double Academy profile right here. In order for that sync to work properly, the email has to be the same. So make sure that when you sign up for the Double Academy that you use the same email that you used when signing up in Double. Otherwise, you can still take it, but this account will not sync over properly. Okay, so that is the Double Academy. Once again, it's at double.thinkific.com. We'll publish more about this later, but hope you all enjoy this. And please, like with everything in the product, share your feedback here. We want to continue investing in this. We want to make this the best possible resource for you to learn everything there is to know about how to use them. Okay, next we're going to go ahead and toggle over to the close. So a couple of improvements here to talk about in the close. First, one that is particularly exciting to yours truly, as well as for anyone else who may use some Excel spreadsheets or schedules that you need to roll forward every month. And that is our new roll forwards feature. So here, if you have a task, let's say we've got this computers one here, and you've got this spreadsheet, and this spreadsheet is just going to get rolled forward every single month. Here you'll see we have a new column called roll forwards, and here you can choose to enable or disable rolling forward. If you enable rolling forward or roll forwards, then when you start a new month-end close, it's going to take that latest spreadsheet and copy it forward to the same task in the next close. Right now, this is only for closing tasks, although we are also going to work on bringing it to custom tasks as well, which is particularly helpful if you have like PDF SOPs that you want copied forward every single month, even if they are not explicitly schedules themselves. Okay, next feature, since we are right here in the reconciliation checklist, is what we call autorecs. So here, if you have a balance that you expect to always equal a certain number every month, this could be maybe 0 for a suspense account. This could be a This could be a like particular equity balance that rarely changes. If you want that task to be automatically reconciled, assuming that balance still, or the balance sheet balance matches the balance you were expecting, you now have a new balance reconciliation option called auto reconcile, where you can put in a balance here. And then if that balance ties out, then you'll see the task will be auto reconciled. So you won't even need to mark it complete. Okay. And then one more close specific update is down here. I mean, this could be relevant wherever you leave your footnotes, but here I'll show it on the profit and loss. So with our footnoting feature, we just added a little bit of an improvement to make it easier for you to push that footnote across all of the reports that might be relevant. So here, for example, if you wanted to leave a footnote on sales, explaining the increase, you can see we have 3 different places you might leave that footnote. These 2, year-to-date income statement and income statement last 12 months, are both in our static PDF management reports. And then we can also choose to include that P&L footnote on the interactive profit and loss that gets published to our clients in the portal. So just a little bit easier way to make sure that you're keeping all your footnotes up to date as you're pushing them out to your clients. So your clients have this standardized unified experience across all of their income statements. This also applies to balance sheets as well. Okay. And then it wouldn't be January if we didn't have a 1099 update. So for those of you who use eFile for Business, the long-awaited eFile for Business export is now here. So now if you use Track 1099, Tax 1099, or eFile for Business, you can use these 3 export file mechanisms to export the data you need from Double and upload it directly to your e-filing solution of choice. Okay. With that, I will pause and take a look at the Q&A. And answer some questions. Okay, Cindy asked, is the login for the Academy the same as the Double login, or do you need to create a profile? That's a great question. You do need to create a profile. So if you don't, I'll open this in incognito. If you have never logged in before, you will just need to either sign in and register or create a new account like this, or you can go through and buy a course. The system we use, Thinkific, is more for paid courses, but all our courses are free and will always be free. So it's just the courses are always free, but you can go through the experience and enroll. So it is technically a new login, but just make sure to use the same email, and that will make sure that your accounts stay in sync as you complete those courses. If you don't do that when you're signing up for whatever reason, it's always super easy to change that account email. You just go to your profile here, and then you can change the. Okay, an anonymous attendee asked, will presumably Double Academy transfer over if we use our current work email and then eventually change companies? So short answer is yes. Anytime you change this email, that will change which accounts that checkbox is syncing over to. Brittany asked, are the courses in the Double Academy specific to Double, or will they eventually include topics related to accounting, finance, and tax? That's a great question. Certainly the base core set of topics are specific to Double, but if that's something folks want to see, that's definitely something we could put together. So for now, we're going to start by making sure that we have enough good content to cover all the things you can do in Double already, but definitely something to consider as we continue to improve the content that's available in the Double Academy. Okay. An anonymous attendee asked about roll forwards. Will it only roll forward on a new month end, or will it also roll forward if we change it a few months back? So basically it works on new close creation. So if you have we have this file here, I think we were in computers. So if we have this file here and we create an older close, so we go ahead and let's say we create the December 2010 close. If we go back to look at our computers here, we'll see that has rolled forward backwards. So basically what it's doing is it's taking that file and copying it forward or backward. But once you have rolled it forward, it's not going to sync content beyond that. So every file that's attached to every close is its own distinct file. This is just about rolling it forward when you create new closes, whether those closes are in the past or the present. Okay, under the account reconciliation list, we no longer, Tessa asked, under the account reconciliation list, we no longer seem to be able to delete accounts that don't apply. For instance, sometimes cash on hand or petty cash will be in that section. We don't use it. We used to be able to delete those accounts. Am I missing something? Gosh, I hope not. But let's take a look. So if we have an account here that we want to delete, you should just, if you click it open, so just one more time, if you click this task open, you should be able to click this delete reconciliation. Okay, Des asked, does the auto reconcile feature also include a reconciliation in QuickBooks? It does not, so that's just local double state. Unfortunately, QuickBooks does not expose the reconciliation API. So if any of you want to bother your QuickBooks account reps to convince Intuit to change their mind, we would certainly be amenable to that. Okay, Jamie asked, when you add a footnote, does it tell the client there is a footnote? How do they know to look for it? That's a great question. If you go over here to your reporting, so if you've left a footnote, it will show up. So there's two places a footnote can appear. One would be in your static management reports. The other would be in your interactive financials. So if you have left a footnote in your static management reports, it will look something like this. So here we've left a footnote on total income, and the clients will see it as this sort of like one right here. And then at the bottom of the report, they'll see all of their footnotes like that. For the interactive financials, if they are in their financials here, which for those of you who haven't seen this update, interactive financials lets you publish a similar interactive P&L to what you have in the file review to your clients as well. So it's a great way to help your clients feel more connected to their financials and understand what's actually driving changes. And if you have a footnote here as well, they will see that right here as this little footnote icon. And then when they hover over that footnote icon, it will explain what that footnote is. A ton of new questions. We're going to go ahead and pause so I can go back through the rest of the core updates. But rest assured, if you have asked your questions, I will come back to them. Okay. All right. We continue. So next update is on accruals. If you use accruals and you use cash basis, this was a new feature we released this month that lets you have cash basis fixed assets. So the use case here is if your client has cash basis accounting, but they still track assets, maybe for tax purposes, or they do some sort of like modified cash basis. You can now track your client's fixed assets with double in that case as well. Make sure the basis is here is set to cash. And if that's the case, then computers or any fixed asset accounts you create in accruals, you will not actually, I'm not sure if I have an example, we'll find out. I think here, this is one. If the bill itself is not paid, you will not be able to post that accrual yet. And then if the bill is paid or partially paid, the date the accrual asset is added to your schedule will match the date of the payment of the bill rather than the date the bill was entered. So for example, if you have a bill that was entered into the system on November 1st and then paid on December 1st, and you use cash basis fixed assets, your asset will show up on the schedule for the first time in December, not in November. Okay. And then one other minor improvement to accruals is on your accruals schedules now. You'll see a new column here for the description. So now in addition to including the vendor, we also include the description of all purchases and fixed assets. Okay. Next improvement we're going to talk about is our AI transactions. So this is AI journal entries and AI bills with AI expenses coming soon. This is a part of our scale package. And we made a few updates here. First is we improved the model selector. So previously we had a ton of different models and it's sort of unclear what the best model is to choose. Here we've simplified that model selector. So now you have two main choices, fast or thinking. For an AI bill, if you just want to quickly itemize a bill, fast is probably going to be what you're looking for. And if you have a more complex journal entry that doesn't necessarily fit some particular schedule, you want to throw all the AI resources you can at it, we recommend thinking. Basically, what you're doing here is choosing how much reasoning to tell the model. This is very similar to any other model system you might be using from ChatGPT to Gemini or other. Of course, if you did want to pick specific models, we do not take that feature away, so you can still choose those here as well. Okay, and then the second thing that we've improved about our AI transactions is our prompt system. So here we've now unified prompts across clients. So if you wrote this really amazing prompt in one client and you have another client who has a similar style entry that you want to reuse that for, you can now use your prompts to or reuse prompts across all your clients. So we have a nice unified prompting system. Next set of improvements I want to talk about are on the tax suite side of things. So first is in our in organizers. If we go here to our templates, you'll see it is 2025. It is the end of the year. The tax filing season is officially here, officially upon us. And we now have a new 1040 organizer updated for the 2025 tax filing season that also includes all of the major new, takes advantage of the major new improvements we shipped in tax suite over the course of the last year. So in particular, the couple of relevant things there are sections and conditional visibility. So here you now in the new organizer have different sections. This should be a much smoother, more streamlined, polished experience where your clients only see a few things and then they can click in for more information. And then we also have conditional logic so that, for example, if your client says they are married filing separately or married filing jointly or single, that can conditionally choose whether to show, for example, spouse. Okay, and then the second improvement to organizers this month is in the publish organizers. So now if you publish an organizer and you want to fill it out on your client's behalf, you can now click this edit responses button and do so. So you can fill out all the information you already have for your client without needing to make them repeat information that they've already given you in prior years. Okay. One more improvement to the closing workflow that I want to talk about, that is one of my favorite new features in Tuple. We've already talked about this on prior versions of the Double Take webinar, but we've made some significant improvements to our analyze difference AI reconciliation feature, what I personally call fix this rec. So for those of you who are unfamiliar, if you use our Chrome extension, which is there at no cost, all of this functionality is available in the base plan. If you use our Chrome extension, when you're reconciling an account, you will see these two new buttons. This Start Reconciling button will allow you to automatically mark transactions as cleared if they were posted from the Double bank feed. And then this Analyze Difference button is here in case you have an issue with reconciling an account. So obviously here we have a pretty trivial example here. We've got 10 transactions and one is not cleared. So we can mark that as cleared to get to 0. But what this Analyze Difference button is here to do is if you have a much more complicated rec, so if you have dozens or hundreds or maybe even thousands of transactions and it doesn't tie for some reason, often the reason it doesn't tie is there's like 2, maybe 3 transactions that either are in the ledger but not in the statement that are not in the ledger, or like in the statement and in the ledger, but there's some multi-currency thing and like a penny or two is rounded off, and that's causing the issues. So this is one of those things where if it does happen, which maybe it happens like every other month or every few months for only a couple of clients, but if it does happen, it's a huge pain in the ass to fix because you have to go like download a CSV and hunt and peck and try and figure out what the problems are. So our AI analyzer, what I call Fix This Rec, is designed to just automate that work for you. So if you click Analyze Difference, it will take you to this new page in Double. And what you can do is you can upload a statement and click Analyze Difference. And if you do that, it will review the statement, review the data that's in the ledger, cross-reference them against each other, go through all the lines, and then come back with a suggestion in terms of what's causing the issue and what's causing the rec not to tie. Once this comes back, I'll explain the other major improvement, which is previously we had this sort of really complicated table style structure that was hard to parse, hard to understand. Apologies about that. We have simplified the output. So now it's just a just text response, and it will explain what's causing the rec not to tie and what to do to fix it. So here, for example, we can see there's this 6/10/2022 transaction for 7840 that's not cleared. And the bank statement shows that as cleared. So that single transaction explains the entirety of the discrepancy. And if you want to fix it, you should, in your ledger, change the status of the 6/10/2022 fresh and clean janitorial transaction from not cleared to clear. So this should hopefully be a tool that helps shave those like random hours that you weren't expecting to take all this time off of your close. Hope you find it valuable. If you have feedback on how we can continue to make this even better, please don't hesitate to send it to us. This is absolutely one of the many tools that we want to continue investing in over the course of 2026. Okay. And then last feature that I get to talk about today before I go back to the mini open queues in my Q&A is on the task list. So here on the task list, super minor improvement, but hopefully a well-received quality of life. You can now start a timer from a task in the task list. So here, if you work on tasks primarily driven by the task list rather than by the by going into each client's close, and here, for example, we've got this parent co task. You can click this open here, and then you'll see there's this new start timer button. This start timer button will default to the latest close or the close that you happen to be working on. If this is a closing task, then of course you can choose your work stream. So it should just be a little nice way to make sure you're tracking your time appropriately, even on the tasks page. Okay, and with that, we have gotten through all of the formal updates to Double over the course of the last month. With that, I will go ahead and turn back to the Q&A so I can answer some. Okay, Sue asked in the 1099 section, will you be adding the QBO mapping section? We found some discrepancies. I'm not 100% sure what this question refers to, but if you found some discrepancies, please do send them to us at either in the chat here or at help@HQ, and we will take a closer look. Okay, an anonymous attendee asked a question I don't know the answer to, and it was not about Double, but I will post it out there in case someone wants to answer it in the chat. Not specifically a Double question, but does anyone know how to add additional recipients to Track 1099 via import when it's an existing payer? Also, how to add 1099 MISC or 1099 INTs. A link would be fine if anyone has one. So if anyone wants to help out the anonymous attendee, feel free to drop in the chat. Anonymous attendee, keep your eyes on the chat for an answer. Okay, Christy asked, is the auto reconcile feature available for clients on Core? It should be yes. It is possible. I may have announced a feature that is still in a private beta. So if you don't see it, that's probably why. But we're working on rolling it out broadly over the course of the next week. So if so, sorry about that. I will check in with the product team. Okay, Cindy asked 1099's question. When you export the file, where does it pull the company or payer data from, such as address, phone number, etc.? This is mostly something that you need to import yourself. We will pull what information we can get from QuickBooks. If you use Tax 79, there's this payer info option here where you can enter in this information. So anything that will be blank, you'll have to fill out. I think actually at this time, all we're pulling in is legal name. Yeah, that's where you can fill that out for you. Okay, an anonymous attendee asked for the final P&L. If we add footnotes later, once financials are published, will it update to the portal on the published financial statements? The answer is no. So published is like, that is the act of producing it for your clients. So once you have published it, any more changes you make to Double will not affect what your clients see. If you want those changes to propagate, you can always republish, and that will overwrite anything that was previously there. But it is a manual action. It's not something that we do. Okay. Christine asked, is it possible to link the bank for QB checking? Green dot. I can't seem to figure that out. Great question. I cannot answer it live on this call, but I will look into it and get back to you. An anonymous attendee asked, are there time estimates for the courses? Thinking of other similar module training courses that show about how long the module might take to complete. It's a good question. I don't think we have them on there. They take typically, if you're sort of going through them and paying attention, they probably take each around an hour to complete. You can definitely get through them more quickly than that, and you can definitely spend more time on them, but I'll work on seeing if we can add those estimates in. If not, you heard it here first, they typically take around an hour. Okay, Angela asked, for the Prepare 79s, can we export the transactions themselves that make up the amounts for backup documentation? Not currently, although that's definitely a good feature request. We'll talk to the product team about that. Tracy asked, year-end reports as separate from the December report. So you can publish a December report and a separate year-end report. Is this on the roadmap? Good question. I will say it's not probably going to be live in time for the 2025 year-end, but definitely something I will take back. An anonymous attendee asked, the Prepare 29's task does not flag attorney or lawyer fees when they are paid by credit card. What is the best solution to avoid missing these payments since they still need to be reported? This is an interesting question, and maybe I'm showing my lack of experience. I would think those are still reported by 1099K, so maybe I'm just wrong about that. I don't know if someone wants to chime in into the chat. I would be curious to know. This will probably affect my 1099 filings. Actually, no, it's not. I definitely pay by ACH, but I'm sure other people in the chat would like to know. As for flagging attorney fees, if they're paid by credit card, if you have these sort of like weird edge cases, honestly, what I recommend is just adding in your Prepare 1099's checklist something that's like uncheck CC spend to check for lawyer legal payments. And then you can always uncheck the CC spend here, and that will unfilter the credit cards and just include all total spend. And then for this, if you wanted to make sure that's something you're doing across every client, you could include that in a template so that you can publish that update across all prepared reports. Okay, so getting a couple of notes here that CC payments should not be included still are still covered by the 1099K. Okay, we continue. I promise to be an expert on double. I make no such commitments to being an expert on the edge cases of 1099, so apologies. Okay. Brittany asked, can you show how to set up automated reminders to clients who have pending requests in the portal? Absolutely. If you go to your portal right here, in your portal settings, you'll see you have your contacts, and then to set up automated email reminders, you just check this email reminders enable button. You can also send automated reminders by texts with this text reminders enabled. And I will mention one other thing that's related to automated reminders, which is automated notifications about new non-transaction questions. So if you have a recurring non-transaction question, like please upload your statement that goes live on the first of every single month, you will, if you publish that question and then your clients don't respond to it, of course, that will get included in an automated email reminder, but you may want to send an email about that sooner. So if you do that, you can also include this notify client bot, but you can check this box right here, excuse me. And if you do that, then when this question is published, there will be a separate email that goes out that says, hey, we need you to upload a Bank of America bank statement. Click here to go to the portal. One last thing I will mention is if you wanted to do that en masse for all of your clients, you can go to your practice settings, excuse me, client portal, all client settings. And then here you should be able to turn on your client portal email reminders and text reminders on the side. Ellie asked, can you earn CPE credits by completing classes in the Double Academy? Not yet, but we are NASBA certified. So I will talk to the support team and see if that's something that we could enable. Okay, Yvette says, I don't seem to have organizers under the template manager. Organizers is a tax suite only feature. So if you have tax suite, you should see it. If that is the case, please drop into the chat. If you don't have tax suite, then you can enable it. You can drop into the chat and we will help you with that as well. Angela asked, are there any plans for an Edge extension? Edge is built on Chromium, so you should be able to use the Chrome extension on Edge. I think we may even have something in our help center that talks about this. We do not. Maybe we should have. An anonymous Teddy asked, presumably this was related to my earlier question or earlier setup on the task list. Will the timer automatically stop when you complete the task? No, but you can very easily stop and start a new task. Rochelle asked, will bills and receipts be auto renamed soon? Year, month, day, vendor amount, or something similar. This is something that we are looking into. We'll talk to the product team. I don't have a timeline. Okay, Christine and Jamie both asked, will organizers roll forward to next year? Jamie asked, if a client has completed a tax organizer in a prior year, will future organizers pull that data so clients can just update as needed? We don't currently have that set up yet, but that is probably our number one or number two top priority for tax suite improvements for the year to come. Christine asked, are we able to add or edit 1099 questions yet? For example, sometimes we have the W9, but we need the email to send electronic 1099s. Okay, so the question is, can you edit this question? You can. You just need to do it when you're asking this question. So you can update the question here, and that will update what the vendor sees. The email itself is not customizable directly from here, but you could just uncheck email vendor and email the vendor manually. An anonymous attendee asked, if the client needs to communicate changes in the P&L through the portal, how can it be done? My top recommendation for this, we're working on more bidirectional collaboration in financials in the year to come. But my top recommendation for this would just be to use the question for us section. So here they could say like, please make changes and then describe the changes they want here. And then that would go to you for your team tab. Dave asked, one vendor receives both a 1099 NEC and a 1099 MISC. And QBO, and he wants to split this out. So rent goes to one and subcontractor payments goes to the other. So the question is, how would you recommend we do that? I don't have a great solution here. Probably what I would do, hopefully this is like not something that you experience commonly for every client. But what I would just recommend doing here is using the notes section, just saying like it's X dollars to one to NEC and Y dollars to MISC. And then on the export, I would just make the updates to the spreadsheet that gets exported before uploading it to track or text. Okay, Jordan asked, are there any plans to continue building out the reporting module? I currently use Fathom, but it would be great to get all of that moved into Double in the future. Short answer is yes. If you have specific feedback you'd like to see, please let us know. Either create a cadence for that or drop in the chat and let us know. We are absolutely interested in continuing to build out our reporting capabilities. Please make your voice heard. That's how we make the product better. Carol asked, is there any plans on putting the quick add on the main menu and the extension? That is a great idea. Not one that we had plans for, but I will definitely talk to the product team. Okay, so for those of you who don't know what quick add means, quick add is this button right here in the top right hand corner that will just let you add any transaction or any internal action. So if you wanted to create a new task or create a new expense, for example, in this client, you can do that right from this quick add menu. So Carol's question is, can we do that on the Chrome extension or on the client list? Definitely we'll talk to the product. Okay, Dean asked, how can we start a timer for a specific task from the close page? Can we go over that again? Okay, so the improvement I talked about was on the task list, which is here. And that's if you open a task here, there's a start timer button. This is not tied to this particular task per se. It's just tied to the client that this task happens to be in. So there's not a way to start a timer that is tied to a single task at this time. Elise asked, if I am not using the double feature to code transactions, I'm using QBO instead, am I still able to use the double bank rec feature to analyze the difference? So coming back here, that is this feature right here, this button, analyze difference. And the short answer is yes, you're absolutely able to use this button. So you'll still see both, although this start reconciling button won't do anything, but you don't need to click it to use the analyze difference feature. Okay, Courtney asked, please add recurring questions templates. I will talk to the product team about that one. Definitely, I can definitely see how this would be super helpful. Okay. Christine has clarified her question here, which is, can we customize the templates? So that is, if you ask this question, right now we have W9 and email, and presumably Christine's question is, can you add more of these? You cannot currently, but we could definitely add support for that. Okay, an anonymous attendee asked, what is the export to tax 1099 feature? How does it work? So basically, once you finish preparing 1099s, you actually need to file them. So we don't do the filing on your behalf. You can file with many solutions. The big three are track and tax 1099, and then e-file for biz. There are a few ways you can get that data from where it exists into from the ledger ultimately into the e-filing solution of your choosing. One way is to connect your QuickBooks or Xero file directly to the e-filing solution. Some people prefer that, but if you prefer to use Double's Prepare 1099s module, you can take the data that is in this module and code it up directly, and then export it to any e-filing solution. So here I'll just export to, you suggested tax 79. So here I'll export to tax 79 and it will export files for you here. And then tax 79 has an import feature that will let you upload the data from these, upload these two CSVs into tax 79 that you can then e-file from. Okay, Aneta asked, are there any plans to add checks to quick add? That's an interesting thought. I think our assumption is that expenses are literally the same as checks, and you can add the item number as the check number. But if that's important for you, that would be pretty straightforward. Okay, Jamie asked if I could repeat myself. I would always be happy to. What we just said about the double and analyze Rex buttons and what the connection is to Double's AI bank feeds. Okay, so there's Double's AI bank feeds that are helpful for inputting transactions into the ledger. However, the one drawback of Double's AI bank feeds is we cannot natively, when you push over that transaction, also mark it as cleared, which is this checkbox over here on the right that is so helpful for what you are actually reconciling. So when you're using the Chrome extension, there's two buttons you're going to see. This Start Reconciling button, if you have all of these transactions as uncleared, but you actually posted them from the double bank feed, clicking Start Reconciling will automatically mark all of these transactions as cleared if they were cleared from the double bank feed. This button is one that only works if you use doubles bank feeds because it addresses a limitation in the API through which we use, or on top of which we use doubles bank feeds. However, this button, Analyze Difference, does not rely on doubles bank feeds. It relies on the data that is in your ledger, so all of the cleared and uncleared transactions, and it relies on the statement that you can upload here, and then it pushes this data to AI for further analysis. So if you do not use doubles bank feeds, you can still use the Analyze Difference button. The other button will not do anything. You can click it till the cows come home, and it will not do anything because you're not using doubles bank feeds, but that has no bearing on this button on the right to Analyze Difference. Okay. Elise asked, on the Quick Add button for the task, can you add the same features for tasks there? Like if we do create a task from the actual task section, for example, I can't upload a document in the Quick Add task button. Interesting. Gosh, you sure can't. Okay, yeah, we'll definitely make a note to the product team for that one. Okay, next question. In the deferred revenue accruals, is there any plan to allow the option of adding individual deferred entries as sales receipts instead of as journal entries, so the sales product item can still be recorded? Interesting question. Not the one that we have received before, but definitely one that I can take back. Okay, Christy asked, would it be possible to have a 1099 dashboard where we can see all vendors and their associated clients in one place? We often receive random emails from vendors with W-9s attached, and it's difficult to know which client they're for. A great idea and a painful problem, and one that we can hopefully address in the next year to come of 1099 filing. An anonymous attendee asked, is there any way to consolidate multiple entities for reporting? Not at this time, but definitely something that we are exploring as a product team. So would recommend voting on the requisite canny feature. There should be a canny feature for consolidations. And if you vote on that, here, we will update you as we have updates on that. Des asked, if we use time tracking in Double, is there any way to integrate those hours to Gusto for payroll purposes? Unfortunately, not at this time. You can export specific windows of timers to align with the windows of your pay periods. To do that in your timers, you can either filter from here by filtering the date. I think that's probably the best option, actually. Or you can, of course, export the CSV, or you can come over here to your reporting and filter your dates here as well. So we could do like a custom option here and choose particular start and end dates. Those are a couple options. But unfortunately, we don't have an integration with Gusto with this. Okay, Ali asked, does Double interfere with the Right tool extension? It does not. We are big fans of the Right tool folks, and if we are interfering with your Right tool extension, please let us know, and that is not our intent. Jamie asked, where's the statement upload stored in Analyze Difference? It's just tied to this page, so it's not stored anywhere else. We are working on an improvement here to let this tie back to the task itself for Third Bank Statement of Texas or Third Bank of Texas. So the long-term goal is to have that connect back to the account rec task here. So on your account recs, it could tie to both in terms of pulling from and pushing to this Third National Bank of Texas one. But we do not have that in place today. Carol asked, where can we turn off email notifications for clients uploading files and receipts? If you want to stop being notified about client activity in the portal, best option here is to go to your notifications and take yourself off of the notifications digest for a particular client, or on your actual profile page here. You can also choose that here. You can enable or disable which clients you get notified about here. Michael asked, is there any work towards consolidated report solutions in reporting or updates for the Intuit IEP? I'm not familiar with the acronym IEP. if y'all want to, Michael, if you want to explain what IEP is, I would love to help answer. IES has some consolidated reporting, and we definitely want to do some work to better integrate with IES. But you'll have to let me know what IEP means. Apologies if I've got egg all over my face here. Okay, and then Deepali asked, what is our 2026 roadmap, and what are we envisioning for this year? Specifically, our goal should be to enable clients to log into the portal and interact seamlessly with it, similar to how one engages with ChatGPT. And that the portal would provide an intelligent prompt such as, how can I help you? What would you like to see last month's financials? Do you want to review the variance analysis? So definitely, we want to bring more AI to the portal. So I will keep y'all all abreast of those developments. I can't say we have like baked our entire 2026 roadmap in January. I think that is probably a little imprudent. So we want to make sure that we are constantly listening to customers' feedback over the course of the year as the time goes on. But definitely, we want to make sure that we are both using AI, one, to help you do your work more efficiently, produce higher quality outputs for your clients, and two, that you can take advantage of AI to help better serve your clients, whether that is using AI for executive summaries to produce more intuitive financials, or AI in the portal to help your clients self-service their own requests. Elise asked, how do I remove myself from getting notified when a team member comments to me in double? That is in your user settings under notifications. You should be able to turn off this checkbox right here. So emails about comments, assigned tasks, and sign-offs. Des asked, will you be at Engage this year? Yes, we have not published the list of all the events we are going to yet. Still working on that. Hopefully January, February, we will have some broader announcements about which shows you can see us at. But we'll definitely be at Engage, and we'll be at all the big shows. We'll be at Intuit Connect. We'll be at Scaling New Heights, and we're looking at a lot of events. Okay, Elise says, my emails about comments is off, and I still get them. Please write into the chat, and we will take a look. It's possible this is a bug, and if so, we will get it addressed ASAP. All right. Well, that's it, folks. Thank you all so much for taking the time. It's a pleasure spending the last hour with you. I hope you all have a relaxing, sleep-filled, restful last few days of January. Canadians, we did not forget about you. I hope you have a easy upcoming February filing season. So thank you all so much for taking the time. Really appreciate it. It's always a pleasure to engage with you all here on a monthly basis, and I will see you right back here on the last Tuesday of the month, next month in February. Okay, bye everyone.